Right then, this is Sharky from SHAR KADE. Now today I have our 24 terabyte Hyperspin arcade add-on. Now then, I'm just gonna plug in an Xbox controller. Right, so then we have a massive update on the SHAR KADE Hyperspin drive. We have a huge collection of visual pinball, so let's go ahead and take a look. So let's head into 24.
Loading.
So our visual pinball collection is around 750 visual pinball tables. We do have most of the wheel art. I know there is one or two I've got to rename to get the wheel art on there. Usually when they have capital letters in between the names and titles, it can sometimes not recognize the wheel art. So I've just got to go through and rename a few wheel arts, and then all the wheel arts will show up on there. So let's add a couple of coins.
The following takes place between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m.
Jack, take cover!
The following takes place between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m.
Buses, trains, and shopping malls have been targeted for terror attacks.
Right then, let's back out of that. Let's do a search for a game. So head up to T. Let's have a look. Right, let's load Super Mario Bros. There.
Loading.
So let's quit. Right, let's see if they have, I think they've got Tales from the Crypt on here. Let's take a look. So then a few of these tables just need to
Loading.
be edited, because this is usually a two-screen setup, this visual pinball, or a three-screen setup. So the DMD screen on some of the tables may have to be moved onto the table itself. So as you can see on this table as well, we don't see the DMD on there. So I've just got to get a few tables edited so we can see the score. So let's add a couple of coins.
Very time to assume the position, if you know what I mean. Here today, let's who goes there?
Right then, I have another system to show off, so let's go back. So then we have a huge GOG collection. Now I have added it in PCGamesGOG.com because I wanted it near all the PC games collection. So the wheelot on this, it took ages to get hold of. I actually got hold of all-in-one Hyperspin, and those guys across there shared their wheelot content with us. I think they had about 900, but I could only use rename about 600 of them. I used her matcher to rename a lot of the images, and I didn't really want to have to go through each game and search for the missing ones and stuff like that, so I created around 600 of the wheelots, and I'll show you in a second. So if you'd like to go to the link below, there is a link to their channel. I'm really highly appreciative of it. They saved me weeks and weeks of work. I mean, there's over 1400 tables, I think, on this setup. They do some amazing work. I've checked out their Hyperspin setup. They actually, I believe they have a 16 terabyte of just PC games. So yeah, go ahead, check their stuff out. The guys are really cool. They've got some really beautiful front end setups as well, well worth checking out. So that's all-in-one arcade. Check the link below. I'll leave a link to his channel, and I'll leave a link to their page as well, so make sure you check that out. Let's go ahead and go into the GOG.com games.
You're good at a lot of things.
Right, so we have just wheelot for everything on here, and noticed, I think when I was checking last night, there's flat out. Now, like I explained before, there is some wheels can be named different, so flat out will be flat, then a capital O or a smaller O, and that can sometimes not show the wheelot. I know the wheelot is there for that game because I did check it out. But there's a simple fix for that. Sometimes you can't just rename it with a capital O, you'll just put it back to the smaller O. So you'll rename it, I'll rename it 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll repaste the proper name with the capital O in, and it'll detect that, and it'll show up on the wheel. So if I just head down, as you can see, there is a ton of wheelot there. You will notice 1 or 2 different wheelots, or different ones got a thicker trim. I'm not sure which one's mine actually. I think mine's a thicker trim one. Yeah, so all these ones here with a thicker silver trim are mine, and all the ones with the thinner trim, there's flat out there, so I'll fix that soon. All the ones with the thinner trim are all off all-in-one arcade Hyperspin, sorry. So as you can see, there is just tons and tons of games here. I think there's around 1300 to 1400 GOG games. I think it's one of the biggest collections out there at the moment. So yeah, tons and tons of stuff. Now with the GOG games, there is a lot of these games keyboard and mouse. So if you've got a SHAR KADE cabinet, you're gonna have to pick yourself up a full-size keyboard and mouse to play some of these games. Well, quite a lot of these games, I'd imagine. There is games that do support controller, and there is games that can be configured with the arcade controls, but there's so many games. I think I'm just going to go through some of the main games that most people will play with the arcade controls and set those up, and just games like these, like Raiden 2, Raiden Legacy, I'll try and set those up with the arcade controls, and then I'll just leave it down to customers. I'll do a video and I'll leave it down to the customers how they wish to have those games configured, because there's just so many games. People like certain configurations and others, and I'm not going through 1400 games to swap and change configurations for each and every person. It's just not happening. It'll take us, I'll never get any work done. So I'll leave most of them as they are, and then I'll do a video for customers to go in and edit each game as a wish. So if there's like a certain configuration for the controller or a certain configuration for the arcade controls, I'm going to leave it down to the customer. So then let's head to find a game. A, B, C, D, E, D. Let's go D. Let's have a look at Darksiders 2. So this game here is working already with the Xbox 360 controller. So all the buttons seem to be set up. I probably won't let the game load right in. I might just force quit it so I can show off the rest of the content.
Such is the decree.
So let's check out the other system.
Back to main menu.
So if we head up, and then we have a ton of end switch stuff. So let's take a look. We have, I think, around 300 plus. All tested as well. All these have been tested to make sure they load into the main menu, into the actual gameplay as well. There might be one or two that haven't been loaded direct into the gameplay. But yes, a lot of these games you've got to check to see if the gameplay itself works on them. Right, let's take a look. What have we got? So many games. Have we got Sonic? Let's try Sonic Forces. So let's take a look at something else. Let's have a look. What have we got? Let's try Isaac. The binding of Isaac after birth.
Isaac and his mother.
So let's go ahead and try another game. Let's try a Hat in Time. So may find one or two games loading in a little slower than usual, because I do have these plugged into a hard drive caddy rather than hardwired to my machine at the moment. So yeah, one or two games might just load in a little slow. The Hyperspin menu might be a little slow as well. But I know not everything's 100% running on the Switch. But most of it is. Most of it works really nice, especially the indie games and stuff. Work really, really well.
Good morning, and welcome to yet another day of space adventure. You are only 5 light years away from your destination, home. The fuel tank is full and the ship is flying at full speed. Today's to-do list contains waking up, adjusting
Right then, I've got one more system to check out. I'm not really going to say anything about the system. I'm just going to show it off. I'll let you make your own mind up on it. I thought it was a nice little cool add-on to the SHAR KADE 24 terabyte Hyperspin drive. There is around 600 gig left on the drive. I may save some of that space. Actually, no, I've still got another setup to go through before the next one. So what I'll do is I'll go on to the next one and then I'll show off the last one. So then we have just a ton of PlayStation 3 titles on here. I think around 300 and something. I dumped down 650. And I tested all these games, went through, tested each game. Each one of these games also is installed on the hard drive. A lot of these Hyperspin drives you get, they fill them up with PS3 games, and non-tested as well. These PS3 games aren't usually tested. They're not installed, none of the data's installed. So you will come across, if you've got 1,000 collection of games, that you'll end up coming across ones that just a lot that just don't even work. There's a lot of settings to mess around with. These are all games on here that you don't have to mess on with any of the in-game settings. There is a couple I will update on here. I think there's ones like God of War and stuff like that, which I know do work. I've had working in the past. But I know you've got to mess around with a few settings to get those games working. If I messed on with the rest of the games and with all the settings and stuff, I'd be there forever. I'm only one person dealing with all these. A lot of these games took 10-20 minutes to even install. It takes a long time. So I mean, I haven't got that much time on my hands. So we've got a nice collection from around 350 games on here, and it's just every game. All these games have been tested and seem to work. Stuff like Time Crisis, Tony Hawk's Project, Watchmen, WRC, Free Dot Game Heroes. And just tons and tons of cool titles.
Legendary sword, though. But we have to travel to the sacred grove so we can seal our sword away. Away with ye, bunny. Now,
so then I am going to show off the final system. Like I say, I'm not going to say much about the system, and what I'll do is I may add something else on the end of the video. I'm not sure yet. I may leave that till a later date, but I'll also do another couple of videos mentioning all-in-one Hyperspin as well, just to let you know, because the guys, honestly, they really saved me a lot of time, and I'm highly appreciated with it. Like I say, I still had to create about 600, and I sat there many hours creating those wheel arts. I will update them in the future to look a bit more like all-in-one arcade, all-in-one Hyperspin. Sorry, I'm getting confused now. All-in-one Hyperspin. So yeah, I'll create some later down the line, looking more like those wheel art. But man, it's a lot of hours of work. This drive will be available almost immediately, so I can start building the 24 terabyte SHAR KADE Hyperspin setups. You will be able to upgrade this drive to your standard 8 terabyte. Minus this next system, though. This next system does require the high-end setup. So standard setup, standard 8TB Hyperspin setup with the lower end build, you can upgrade this drive too. So all those N switch stuff, all the PS3 stuff, all the GOG stuff, as well as the pinball stuff, all that stuff can be added to the standard 8TB. That'll knock it up to 16TB, so you can have the lower end, what I call lower end, it's still decent little gaming PC. But it will be able to be added to the lower end setup. So customers that went with the lower end but wanted a larger drive, a larger system, they can upgrade without upgrading hardware to this drive. So that'll knock it up to 16, and for 16TB customers, they can knock it up with the system and the setup from 16TB up to 24. So then I'll mute this mic and then I'll show off this next system.
To fight for. You have tamed these
Welcome to the oldest house.
You know, we never.
This whole island's like a broken record, skipping endlessly on one fulfilling.
Loading. Loading. Loading.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.